Hey guys, today is my alive day. 9 years ago today, August 22nd, 2009, this happened.
Oh shit! Shit.
Did you catch that? My horse threw me like a yard dart, face first into the ground, folded completely in half backwards. The doctors told me it's physically impossible to do that. The heels of my boots touched the ground above my head. They said, you can't do that without snapping your spinal cord. You should have snapped your neck. It is physically impossible to live through that. At the very least, you should have been paralyzed. But I wasn't. And throughout the past 9 years, I've watched that video over and over again. And I distinctly remember seeing Tuck, my horse, step on my leg. My left leg was up here somehow. And I remember seeing him step on my leg. And I didn't feel it until later it started hurting. But that's the only thing I remember him stepping on. I've slowed that video down and watched it. And it looked like he drug his feet over me. But it wasn't until today when I put that video in the editing software and slowed it way down, 1.25, the speed of the regular video, and I zoomed in on it, and you can actually see Tuck stepping in the middle of my back with his front leg. 1,200 pounds of brute force stomping down on a 109-pound limp little body. Not just with his front leg, but if you watch close, you'll see his back leg do the same thing. And for a lot of years, the doctors couldn't figure out why some of my injuries were like they were. I hit the ground with enough force that I fractured my eye socket. I got a concussion. I dislocated my left shoulder. I broke 7 vertebrae. I broke my back in 7 places, each of the 7 vertebrae in different places. There were compression fractures. My spine kind of served as a spring, and they all the vertebrae shoved together. There were compression fractures. There were burst fractures where the discs are supposed to be on top and on bottom. Those bones completely burst, little chunks of them. They knew why that was, because my spine shoved together and I bent in half backwards. But what they couldn't figure out was why. This is called a spinal process. This is a deer bone, but you get the idea. They could not figure out why each of those 7 vertebrae on the back side, this is the front, this is on your back, those 7 vertebrae, I can't even do it with my hands, they bust off. All those spinal process in my spine, 7 of them, completely broke off. I damaged 14 discs, muscles, tendons, ligaments, tissues, several ribs. But I think after watching the video today, kind of figured out why these broke off, because he stepped right in the middle of my spine. But I'll show you the video of it slowed down so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So for the past 9 years, I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you keep your faith? How do you always wear a smile on your face? How can you see the good in something that is so horrible? And it should have killed me, guys. It should have paralyzed me. It didn't. They told me I would never walk on my own again. With the help of my parents, through hard work and determination, and with God's righteous right hand stretched out in front of me, ready to catch me whenever I fell. And I did fall, and I still fall. But through all those things, I proved the doctors wrong, guys. Proved them wrong. I have nothing to complain about. That's why I wear a smile on my face. It hurts every day, but it's nothing to complain about. It could be a lot worse. And for the first 7.5 years after my accident, I was in physical therapy. The doctors told me, we can cut on you, but it would take as long to heal from surgery as it would from physical therapy. So of course I went 7.5 years with physical therapy. The doctors suggested I spend as much time in the outdoors, walking around the farm or going fishing or whatever, as a form of physical therapy. And it's not just helping me to not rust out. I wear out instead of rust out, but it also is a great morale booster. And it took 7.5 years of physical therapy to get to a point where I could return to work, or at least we thought I could. Right after my injury, I tried to return to law enforcement because that's something that I've been very passionate about since I was 17 years old. I worked 6 hours at an ice cream social. For the next week, I couldn't walk. The weight of the duty belt caused more damage to my nerves. Couldn't be a cop anymore. 7.5 years later, after all that physical therapy, I tried to return as a civilian, taking reports behind bulletproof glass, behind a desk, and I couldn't even do that. I thought I was to the point where my body was able to return to work, but it wasn't. My spinal cord damage, the symptoms from that got a lot worse. I went from having numbness in my legs to now having numbness in my legs and my arms. My hands won't work half the time. The part of my spinal cord that got damaged is the part that regulates your body temperature. It can be a wind chill of -20 and I'm burning up. It can be 100-degree heat index and I'm freezing cold. And I truly thought that God's plan for my life was to help people through law enforcement. And I think for 12 years that was his plan. But whoever it was that I was supposed to help, that needed me specifically, I've already helped them. And I've realized that law enforcement is no longer in the cards. So, a lot of people ask, you've lost a lot of stuff. You can't work. Disability says that a rare, life-threatening spinal cord disease, syringomyelia is what I have, is not severe enough to qualify for disability. You can't work, you can't get any help from disability, you can't ride your horse, you can't rodeo, you can't do this, that, or the other. How do you stay so positive about it? Well, it could be a lot worse. And for a lot of years, it's kind of bothered me. I can't go to rodeos without thinking that should be me. Watching the girls breakaway rope, and that should be me in the arena, not just watching. And talking to the guys that I used to work with and telling me about all these calls that they took and they got to truly help somebody at work. I don't want to hear it because that should be me. And yesterday I was reading the book of Luke, and it talks about the very first prophets. And everybody knows the story, how Jesus goes to the Lake of Galilee and he tells these 3 men, drop everything you're doing, leave that all there, follow me. I will make you fishers of men. And I miss everything that I used to be able to do, but yesterday when I read that, it kind of hit me. Law enforcement. My mom dug my duty boots out the other day. They were falling apart. The soles were separated from the leather. You can't wear them anymore, but I've held on to them for 9 years, hoping that I would need them again. And reading the book of Luke, Jesus telling Simon, leave everything there, follow me. Leave your duty boots there. They're no good to you anymore. They're falling apart. You've walked hundreds of miles in them. That's not your life anymore. Leave it there and follow me. Rodeo, I can't wear the boots that I love to wear because they hurt my back. The hill's too steep. Leave them there. You don't need them anymore. That's why they hurt your back, because you don't need them anymore. Walk out of that arena. Don't look back and follow me. You've got a nice little house. It's not much, but it's yours. Less than a mile from the lake. Got your independence. Do whatever you want. You don't need it anymore. You can't take care of yourself. You can't work. You can't wash your own hair you can't stand long enough to wash your own hair. You need help with your mom doing that. Leave it all there. You don't need it anymore. Leave it there and follow me. He's given me a story, and it didn't really dawn on me until yesterday when I read that chapter, the book of Luke. He's provided me with a story. A lot of people have told me that my story is inspirational and I need to tell more people about it, and I always thought, that's great, okay, whatever. But he has provided me with a testimony to share, to hopefully help other people. And reading the book of Luke is leave all that other stuff that you loved so passionately. Leave it there. You don't need it anymore. Follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men. Lord knows I love to fish. So, anyway, I'm telling you this because I'm hoping maybe this story of mine, being able to walk when everybody said that I would never be able to walk again, to live through something that they said was physically impossible, to see that you can overcome things. If I can overcome them, you can overcome them. And I'm hoping somebody can get something out of this. And one more thing that I've learned over the past 9 years, I've used the outdoors as a big healing tool. God is my physician and Mother Nature is my nursemaid. And I've learned while turkey hunting, life is a lot like turkey hunting. A couple of years ago, I had this gobbler on the other side of the hill, would not come any closer. And I think that's a lot like life. You've got your goal on the other side of the hill, gobbling at you, taunting you, saying, what are you waiting for? Come and get me. And you've got to humble yourself. You can't get to them by walking there. You've got to humble yourself. You've got to drop to your knees. You've got to get down on your belly and crawl 100 yards through little corn stalk stubble that's hard and dried up, and with every inch that you crawl, it's digging into your belly. You finally get to the other side of the hill, and now you've got to crawl another 100 yards through weeds that are up to your waist, and you don't know if there's snakes in them, you don't know if there's ticks and chiggers and what all else, but you've got to crawl all the way to the sound of that gobble, to the sound of your goal. And it's not until you crawl all the way to it that you'll finally be able to rise, look your goal dead in the eye, and take your shot. I think turkey hunting is a lot like life. Sometimes you've got to crawl to get to what you want. Sometimes you get knocked down on your knees. But if you're willing to work for it, you can obtain your goal. Anyway, it's my Alive Day, and I intend on celebrating. I hope that you guys have gotten something from this. And people ask me how do you keep the faith, and how are you not mad at God? And why would I be? I'm standing on my own 2 feet. They swore I'd never do it again. He helped me through it, and he can help you through whatever it is you're going through. If you're willing to work for your goals, if you've got a good support system, which you do because you got him. But if you're willing to work for it, it doesn't matter what it is you're going through. If you're depressed or you have anxiety or you lost your job, you can't find another job, you're gone through some kind of loss, whatever it is, if I can walk on my own again, surely to goodness you can get through whatever it is you're going through. Anyway, I think I've talked too long. I think I probably should go fishing now. Become a fisher of bass for a while, and a fisher of men. So, thank you for watching this. I hope you got something out of it. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this, then feel free to share the video. God bless.